So as we continue looking at Ecclesiastics, which I call Solomon's autobiography, his experiences and reflection of sins leading, forsaking God and his wisdom, and seeking satisfactions in things under the sun, only to find out that they are vanity. That vanity is deceptive, empty, and even frustrating. That takes us to the topic on today that I have, which is deceptive lures. It's where riches without enjoyment is a real thing. So the text today will come from Ecclesiastes 6, and I'll be reading out of the NIV. It will be verse 2 and 3, but I will also read Luke 12 and 15 out of the NIV as well. And it reads, God gives some people wealth, possession, and honor, so that they lack nothing their hearts desire. But God does not grant them the ability to enjoy them. Sounds like, man, God, you set me up for failure. But he's not. And strangers enjoy them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. Verse 3, a man may have 100 children. It's a lot of children. A man may have 100 children and live many years, yet no matter how long he lives, if he cannot enjoy his prosperity and does not receive even a proper burial, I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. Come on, Solomon. Tell us a little bit of something. Luke 12, let's see what Jesus said that ties into this very thing that Solomon is saying. In verse 15, it says, then he said to him, no, them, watch out. Be on your guard against all kind of greed. And we've learned what all is. What's all? All is all. All kind of greed. Life doesn't consist in an abundance of possessions. Now, I like how the Amplify said that one right there. It says, then he said to them, watch out and guard yourself against every form of greed. For not even when one has an overflowing of abundance does his life consist of, nor is it derived from his possessions. Now that tells you something right there. Let's look at a little historical content when it comes to chapter 6. So at this time right now, Solomon in the first 5 chapters was showing us his main point, which is twofold. And that's the continuum that we're talking about in chapter 6. So this twofold point is, number 1, emptiness of emptiness. All is empty and futile. Number 2, under the sun. Under the sun means in this temporal life, the here and the now. It's all empty by itself. That's why Christ is our firm foundation. In chapter 6, he is summing up some of the points of those first 5 chapters and showing how empty alone you are without God. It means you can't get any satisfaction. You can try and try. I think that's a song. But you can't get any satisfaction. This book calls us to look at our lives and see what's in our heart. So it's going to be a pop quiz at the end. Pop quiz. Okay? It's going to be a pop quiz at the end. Someone might get some Skittles off me today. All right. So I want to set this up. So we're going to look at the myth of more. How many of you know more has its own myth already put in its literature? These are questions I want you to ponder. How much wealth is enough for forever enjoyment? What's the magic number? Next one. Would you feel better if you had more wealth than your peers, but you never got to enjoy it? Okay. What about this one? At what point does money provide you with satisfaction and enough of it to never have any more stress? Because in our world, we are being convinced that money is the be all, in all, of all, they all. It's a close second, but it is not the be all, in all, and of all. Because if we don't have Christ, it is meaningless. I've seen some miserable people. I've seen people who thought money would secure them and then their house burned down. I saw people that thought money would make sure their entire life was well, but then they lost their job. I saw people saving up bags and bags and getting more bags and more bags and bags than bags. But the stock market crashed. At some point, we as people have to learn that our everything is only found in Him. Because in this life, we only get 99.9%. That leaves us room for a fall somewhere. In verse 2, Solomon lets us know, look, it is God who gives us wealth. It's God who gives us possessions. It's God who gives us honor. Now, God gives that to some people. This is what he said. But if you look at 2 Chronicles 1, 11 through 12, you will see that exactly in that order, that is what God told him he would do for him. And if he did it for him, he can do it for us. But just as for him and us, there is a caveat. And the caveat says that you lack nothing your heart's desire, your soul, your heart connection in that conversation. My mind got good stuff. My will got good stuff. My emotions got good stuff. My imagination got good stuff. My intellect has good stuff. All of that makes up our soul. And then it said, but. Y'all know Pastor like them. But. Because what's in front means it's connected to something else. And it said, God does not grant them the ability to enjoy them. And strangers enjoy them instead. This is meaningless, a grievous evil. Now, in our human mind, it does seem like that's meaningless, that I work hard, that I earn what I earn, that I, what people say, pull myself up by the bootstraps. Yeah, God gave that ability. But I don't get to enjoy this. We could think that's harsh, or we could think that's great mercy. Because God knows that if I gave you both, you wouldn't even look at me. If I gave you both, you wouldn't even depend on me. If I gave you both, in hell, you would lift up your eyes. So he, in all his love, put it together to say, hey, you have this. But in order for you to have the enjoyment of this, you must be connected to me. So that's things to consider. Because this entire text and book is all about thinking, consideration, and reflecting. It allows us to see if I chase bigger deals and get more possession, without him, what's my ending? If I have trouble in my home and I don't have him, but I got all my prosperity, what's my ending? If I'm planning to start living when I retire, because we have a lot of people that do, what's my ending? Because illness come, and believe it or not, all of us, one each, have a destination with death. See, people don't like to go to the end of it. They want to keep us on the fluff of it. The end of it is at the end of the day, we will go somewhere. And Solomon realized that no matter how much I have, that I have nothing if I do not have him. That takes me to my empty calorie point number 1. Wealth alone does not produce lasting satisfaction. It's God that does. It has already been established in Ecclesiastes 3 and 5 that God wants us to enjoy the gifts that he gives us, but not apart from him. Anyone who tries is really committing idolatry, and their heart will never be satisfied. I like how Warren Worsby put it. He says, enjoyment without God is merely entertainment. This doesn't satisfy. Yet enjoyment with God is enrichment. It brings true joy and satisfaction. As believers, we must seek joy and satisfaction beyond material abundance. We must keep our focus on God and his provision of eternal hope. I like that Solomon said, in the beginning, he talked about under the sun. Because under the sun is such a very important term because we won't always be under the sun. We've been here and I get the email so I know what's going on, and we lay people across this front all the time, and they are no longer under the sun. It is in time where we get the opportunity to do what Solomon says, connect to God. If you are not in time, your time is up. And when your time is up, you have no more time. Solomon keeps pointing the picture of in time that these things occur, in time that those things occur. But apart from God, there is no satisfaction. Let's look at verse 3. Verse 3 lets us know, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Verse 3 lets us know. Verse 3 lets us know that a man may have 100 children. Remember, I said that's a lot of children. Maybe not for you all. I have 3 sons. Happy birthday to my firstborn today. I just thought about that. Yes. But at the end of the day, 100 is a lot. And you live many years. Okay, we may say, all right, that's good, but how will you live it? Yet no matter how long you live, if you cannot enjoy your prosperity and do not receive a proper burial, potato sacks is bad these days. I say that a stillborn child is better off than he. Now let's look at that. Fun fact before we go into that. Could be an oxymoron, but fun fact. Solomon's son, Rehoboam, had 22 sons and 60 daughters, totaling 88 children. So when we think about if someone had 100 children, we can see there's someone who got very close. But I know Solomon had a lot of wives and concubines, and we don't have his count. So I won't say who has what, but 88 children. But the point of this is that this man had everything that culture said you should have. And everything that culture said you should have will make you happy and live an enjoyable life. So he got a house full of children, long life, and prosperity. But no matter how much he possessed, he still didn't have the power to enjoy it. Because the power to enjoy it comes from our relationship with the Lord. You might as well have never been born, is pretty much what he said. Though the man was rich in abundance, his death showed that he was really poor. It's something else for you to have a lot of things and a lot of friends. It's something else to have a lot of things and a lot of people. And it's something else to sit when they lay you across the front to see nobody showed up. But everybody's at the reading of the will. That takes us to empty calorie point number 2. Satisfaction is a gift, not a possession. Let's look over in Luke now to see what Jesus says about the abundance of possession. But first, I want to ask the question. Are you enjoying God's provision or simply accumulating things? These are questions that we must ask ourselves because this is a thinking book. This is a reflecting book. I know you want shouts. I know you want your hallelujahs and me stomp and dance and jump 12 times and do a flip. But this is a thinking book where God is telling us as his people, I want you to sit still for a minute and look over your life. I want you to see where you fit in this text, and then I want to make some adjustments. And if you don't know him in the pardon of your sin, what that means is you've never accepted Christ as your personal Lord and Savior. He's saying, look, apart from me, nothing is empty. Even if you have all the things the world says that you should have, it's still empty. So in Luke 12, it says, then he said to them, watch out, be on your guard against all kinds of greed. Life does not consist in an abundance of possession. But in order for you to understand that text, let me give you some context on the back. So where this text of what he said came from was why he was out preaching, healing, doing his work, all those different things. 2 knuckleheads, greedy brothers. 2 greedy brothers decided to say, hey, I want Jesus to settle this dispute for us. So what he said was, hey, Jesus, my brother will not share the inheritance or divide it rightly. Do something about it. Jesus started talking about the unseen factor because Jesus understood, hey, nothing that I say will settle this matter. Because there's a real matter of the heart. And this matter of the heart, I can see, but man can't. So it may seem at times that people come and that their intentions are well. But Jesus knew that these gentlemen did not have the right intentions. They also had something in their heart called covetousness. So what they did was he realized you want to settle money matters, but you need to settle matters to change your heart. You want to settle money matters, but no amount I say or no words I say will satisfy you in any way. See, they wanted Jesus to serve them, but they didn't want to be saved. See, a lot in life, we can find ourselves wanting Jesus to serve us, but not save us. Jesus, you can have this, but you can't have that. Jesus, I give you everything, but this one. See, on this matter, he let them know, look, at the end of the day, who am I to get in this matter? I do understand Moses' time, setting them aside, and the rabbis doing certain duties, but I know your heart. Covetousness is an unquenchable thirst that makes us want more and more and more. We want more money, never satisfied. We want more things, never satisfied. We want more positions, never satisfied. We want more power. But Jesus said, look, I have an antidote for this thing. And I need you to know the antidote is that it doesn't revolve around these things. That even your abundance of possession does not say who you are, does not make you any better, does not make you anything that I said you weren't. Which takes me to empty calorie number 3. Life's true essence is not in material abundance. Jesus only echoed what Solomon's diagnosis was, that wealth without enjoyment is pure emptiness. The bottom line, abundance without satisfaction is vanity. True life is found in God through Jesus Christ, not possession. Ding, 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 ding. Pop quiz time. Pop quiz is only a challenge. It's a challenge for us to evaluate our relationship with wealth and to see if it's healthy or unhealthy. And while we are evaluating that relationship with wealth, let's make sure it's connected to God. I have a shirt I'm thinking about. It says, God over everything. Let's make sure everything isn't over God. Solomon is letting us know overall that seeking satisfaction in things under the sun is only temporary. Life only to learn. Living it is vanity without God. And that vanity gives you D, E, and F. And what that is dissatisfaction, emptiness, and even frustration.